Good morning, gladiators. Today is Thursday, April 8th. Sorry that I have to be away. I have a doctor's appointment to attend. So today we're going to go over the post-apocalyptic genre slides. We're going to read chapter 2 of the testing. We're going to review reflective writing and point of view, and then we're going to complete a diary entry from Sia's point of view. So one of my favorite genres is post-apocalyptic fiction. Apocalyptic and post-apocalyptic fictions are subgenres of science fiction. So they're part of the science fiction genre, they're just more specific categories. Apocalyptic is set in a time period where the earth, as we know it, is coming to an end. So it is currently coming to an end. But post means after, is set when the end of the world has already taken place and characters are trying to survive and start anew. Post-apocalyptic novels almost always take place in the future, although some describe the end of past civilizations that no longer exist. The end of the world event that occurred can be anything from war to plague to natural or man-made disasters. So certain characteristics of the post-apocalyptic fiction can be set in current day or far off future. Additionally, the story can take place right after the events. You can have technology which would have never been seen before, or no technology at all. Characters can remember the world what it was like before, or they can fantasize about the way it used to be, or even create myths about the world before the destruction. Stories of post-apocalyptic novels are often action and adventure survival stories. When it is written for teens, the protagonists are surviving on their own or maybe in packs. And oftentimes the hero of the story has outstanding survival skills that can figure out how to survive in this new world. Sometimes in teen fiction, the adults are absent, or sometimes they are evil. And we're trying to stay away from them or find safety away from the adults. So what's the big appeal? Post-apocalyptic novels appeal to readers who like action and adventure. They also appeal to those who want to wonder, what if? They like stories where you have to figure out how to survive along with the main characters. Would you do the same thing that the characters choose to do? Can you figure out the consequences of their decisions before they do? Additionally, there is the appeal of post-apocalyptic fiction to teens because of how many of the stories are set where the end of the world came about in a way that we can imagine happening in our own time. So maybe catastrophic or extreme weather or man-made destruction, war, or even disease that we could see in our present day happening in a fiction novel. Teens sometimes feel lack of control in their everyday lives, and sometimes they find these types of novels appealing because they face bigger issues or even survive day to day. It makes the teens' problems more manageable, or at least lets them let go of their problems while they read. Finally, post-apocalyptic novels may appeal to teen readers who enjoy reading about a world where there are no rules, where teens are not necessarily just teens, but they hold a greater power than would be allowed in their own reality. So some common themes of post-apocalyptic or novels. So mass unrest, where everything is kind of chaotic, the society has broken down, there might be widespread death, climate change, nuclear holocaust, medical pandemic, the rise of sentient robots, the destruction of major cities, endless war, or a fascist government engaged in mind control. So here are some examples of overlapping themes in different genres. This is a movie called I Am Legend. The scenario was supposed to be for a cure for cancer, but it mutated into a virus that turns all but one man into bloodthirsty vampire-like creatures. The last man on earth roams New York City by day, picking up fuel at gas stations, gathering corn from Central Park, hunting deers in Times Square. But he must venture into every new unfamiliar place with caution. So a lesson would be, aside from hoping you've got the gene that keeps you from turning into a vampire, never go into a new place unprepared and avoid the dark at all costs. Planet of the Apes. So it's a science fiction classic. A space crew of 3 crashes on a distant planet 2,000 plus years in the future. They find an upside down world in which the humans are unevolved. So we are more like pets, animals, and incapable of speech or reason. And the apes, they're the ones in charge, and they can speak, and they belong to a more sophisticated, civilized culture. And they treat humans like animals. So the lesson might be that the movie clearly warns us of the destruction of the human race by nuclear war. It cautions that if our planet were destroyed, we could lose part or all of our language or culture. So we talked about this. Wall-E, centuries after Earth, has choked on the garbage generated by corporate. By and large, a busy little trash compacting robot keeps working. Wall-E sentimentally saves the treasures he finds, even a seedling, a plant. Then he falls in love with Eve, a sleek vegetation spotting probe who arrives to retrieve the plant. It's a fable of consumer complacency. Its quirky machines remind us, the apathetic consumers, of what truly precious our planet is. You can take a moment and watch this Wall-E clip. Here is a list of some of the best apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic young adult fiction rated by Goodreads. And I put the link here, so if you want to see them all. We read The Giver, Hunger Games, Divergent, Uglies, which is also an 8th grade novel that you can read next year. So here's a fun little game. So you are going to figure out what is your novel plot. And so you take the first letter of your first name. After A, you find the first letter of your first name. So mine would be civilization. After civilization is the next letter, destroyed by nuclear war. Next third letter, rebellious teen must survive by discovering a shadow government. And so you would just use the letters in your first name, and you would try to figure out what the plot is of your apocalyptic novel. So it just talks about the setting of our novel. You are going to read chapter 2. I'll have that posted for you. Listen to it, read along of the testing, and then you are going to start writing a diary entry. So you're only going to do one a day. Today we are going to write from Sia's point of view. So we have read chapter 1 and chapter 2, and so you're just going to write from a first person perspective, I, me. You're going to talk about her feelings and the things that are happening in her life so far. And then don't submit it, because tomorrow we'll do her dad's point of view after we read chapter 3. And then we're going to do an extra credit. You can choose any character you want. And then we'll submit this on Monday. So you'll be finishing this up on Monday. You'll do the dad on Monday. And that's all I have for you today, gladiators. Let's double check. I'm sorry, there will be a discussion post. So make sure you get your discussion post done for attendance purposes. I hope you have a wonderful day. See everybody tomorrow.